you are catching me from. Luzay Anderson is my name. Again, super excited to be here. And I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night from wherever you could be catching us from. But of course, super excited. Yeah. Most of the times, I don't want to start mine and seeing if our sound is really beautiful and it is really, really, really nice. So I want to first see if our image is there. It is showing me excellent, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah. I want to first make sure that everything is nice and lovely. Yeah. According to what I see, I think we are getting there. Yeah. Beautiful there. I've gotten it. Let me see here. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. No worries. Yeah, niceness, beautiful. We are there already. So I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are catching me from. And again, super excited to be here. Each time I come, by the way, I'm always excited. I always feel good, when we are here because we get to share different stories. But most of the times, yeah, we are here encouraging each other in one way or the other. But this time around, I have changed something. So I'm going to be telling you basically about me. We are not going to be discussing anyone. I hate it when I discuss other people. I always love it when I discuss me. So this time around, it is going to be my story. Yeah. So I want to start by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night from wherever you could be catching us from. And today we are going to be talking about the my story. Let me first show you here. Let me show you this. Of course, this is my story: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Most of the times, I want to share my story, and I also love sharing it for the reasons that maybe someone could get inspired. And some of us, there are times when you feel like things are not working out, yeah, the way you would love them to work out. But one thing I always thank God is that sometimes things really, really work out. And even there are times when you don't have hope and we think we are done. And I've been there from childhood. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm going to take you through, yeah? Of course, as I told you, I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly, yeah? And it is going to be my story. Yeah. Most of the times, the stories or the things we get to talk about, as I told you initially, it is either something I'm going through, it is something I went through, or it is something maybe I'm also working on, or it is something that I'm also planning. So, where should we start from? Of course, I'm born 1988. For the people who don't know, 1988. That's when I was born, and of course, in a family of like 12 people. Yeah, 12 people. I'm not sure. 12 people. With those are siblings with 11 fathers. 11 fathers from 12. With my mom had 12 kids from 11 fathers. That is really weird. But the women of them days, of course, such things could happen. Yeah. And this story is going to be a little bit touching. And I don't know how long it is going to take. But if you love to, you could share with a friend. Yeah. And you listen. So this is my story. And of course, I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I've not thought about it, by the way, because it's a little bit touching, a little bit ashaming, a little bit of having surprises, a little bit of having. It was the grace of the Creator that maybe I'm still here. So that's why most of the times when I was growing up, I was like, I'll keep talking about some of these things. Yeah. So as I told you, let's start with when I'm born, 1988. Yeah. The month, I'm told it is February 19th. And when I was born, because that's where my story starts, yeah, as I've told you initially, that my mom had 12 kids, of course, with 11 fathers. So when I was born, because that's where my story starts from, yeah, I don't know how my mom met my dad. I don't know how they met. But when they met and they gave birth to me, of course, having the other 11 siblings, and I came in as I think the 12th one. What surprises the most is that my mom gave birth to me. Okay, what they say is by the time she gave birth to me, she was HIV positive. That's what I'm told. And again, also, my dad was HIV positive, which is understandable because them days really HIV was so much. Yeah. So when they gave birth to me, both of them remember are having HIV. So it was evident that they were supposed to give birth to someone also having HIV. But surprisingly, it came out different that me, I came out without HIV. It was a miracle. But how do I know all this? This is where it starts, yeah? So I grew up just like any other kid. But I think, I don't know, I'm not so sure whether at the age of 4 or at the age of 3, but I think between 3 to the age of 2, that's when both my parents died. And both of them died of HIV. And I think it was my dad who died first of HIV. I think after him dying, I think I was like 2. That's what I think. Then 2 or 3 around there. Then immediately, I think some months passed, like maybe 2 or 1. Then also my mom died, and she also died of HIV. Remember, I was young, so my siblings always thought maybe I also had HIV because by then there wasn't what we call safe birth. There wasn't safe birth. That what is happening like right now, because right now both parents can have HIV, but of course give birth to a safe kid as long as they take precautions. So now you imagine me having a mom and a dad both having HIV. The HIV of the 1988, that HIV was really, really dangerous. And there wasn't even safe birth. So my siblings always thought that maybe I had HIV, but they didn't test me. So I go to school, of course, I study. Now they've died, both of them. So when they died, I think because they were not really broke, yeah. My mom was really very, very smart. Out of the 11 dads, she made sure that she didn't get a broke dad. Yeah, she didn't get a broke dad. Never got a broke dad. All the dads, of course, were able, they were people, of course, who had some money them days. So when both of them died, of course, that means she was living with all of us. She's the lady whom right now would say or would call the strong ladies. Yeah, the strong ladies. You just imagine a lady having gotten 12 kids, but of course made sure that she stays with all her kids. She stayed with all her kids. I told you this is my story. We are sharing the bad, the ugly, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, sharing all of it in between. So whenever she could give birth, she could make sure that she stays with her kids. And because maybe she was dating people who were married, maybe, I don't know. But I'm told that one moment I don't know whether she got married. I'm not so sure because by the time both of them died, I was really young. So I'm getting stories. So when they die, of course, just like any other, by then I think we were like 5 kids. And by that time now, no, I think we were like six kids, yeah? And we were all staying together. But what is very surprising is that life was okay and nice, just like, today what we call, you're a planned kid or a rich kid, yeah? So we were okay before they died, but now when they died, things changed, yeah. And I think I don't know still again because I was young, but I think the eldest was like 16, 17, 18 around there. And me, I was the youngest. I think still again like at around I think like around 3 years old. So now things changed, yeah. Both of them have died of HIV. Of course, they gave birth to me. I'm the last born, and there was really a high probability that I was supposed to be born with HIV. So now we pass through life. Now I'm going to tell you when I get to know maybe I was born with HIV. So now life passes on. Now life is a little bit hard, very, very hard. Sometimes you have a meal and sometimes you don't have sauce. Sometimes you have sauce, but again, you don't have a meal. So it was really hard. I told you I'm sharing my story. This is what I'm calling my story: the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. And I'm talking basically about me because I always don't want to share or discuss other people. So my story: the good, the bad, and the ugly. So where it starts from being really bad is that parents, both of them, have died of HIV, and we didn't have what we call a support system. So now, as you know, people when people have a little bit of money, relatives will always come out and they'll be like, "We'll take care of them. We'll take care of them." So because maybe they want to take property. So now they shared us. You imagine the kids who have grown up together. You know that bond when you grow up together. Now because your parents have died and maybe people want to take property because how it happens in Africa is whoever goes with one kid, maybe they are giving them some property. So they shared us. So now imagine you've grown and you have all this bond together, being with your mom, and there has been money, and you're having fun. Now you're being shared. So when they shared all of us, uh, life wasn't good. To wherever everyone went, life was not good. Just like, any intruder, when you come and you're not from that family, trust me, you're not going to be treated the same way as they treat the kids from that family. So, how they treated us everywhere, because I was in a different family, my other sister in a different family, the other one in, remember, we were like six with the eldest. I think by then, as we was staying, was like the eldest, a boy, but of course later left, and you wouldn't you hear about him like twice or thrice in the entire story, of which I don't know how long it is taking. I just thank the internet and social media that now you can share your story or you can talk about anything you want to talk about, minus looking at time. So it is an inspiring story. It is really good. You will love it. It is a motivating story. So when they shared us, life wasn't good from everyone where everyone went. So we were like, no, let's come back and stay together. So we came back for some reasons. The other one was treated really bad. Even the other one treated really bad. So we ended up coming back together, and now we were like five of us. And during the time when we were staying together, as I told you, sometimes you could get food, but you don't have sauce. Sometimes you have sauce, but you don't have food. Sometimes you don't have clothes. We were used of getting Christmas gift. Now you're not going to get Christmas. There was really a lot happening. And it was by grace of the Lord that we grew up, and all my sisters are doing okay and they are doing fine. I wouldn't say that I'm also doing bad, because the mere fact that I can be in front of the camera right now and I'm talking to you, having been born by parents who both had HIV and there wasn't really safe birth, I would be dead. So when we start being together, life was hard, of course. But remember, now you have to do school. And a church, we really loved God from the word go, yeah. As kids, still, we could pray together. And that thing is really very beautiful. A family that prays together really stays together. And that is very true. So now we go to a church around Seguku, and really those people really helped us a lot in our lives. Yeah. And once in a while, I keep saying this story because I told the creator that if things work out good, if you saved me from catching HIV, I'll keep talking about it in a way of giving a testimony. Even when I was working on TV, once in a while, I could mention it just to give appreciation, to the creator, because I would be maybe dead. I wouldn't be 38 right now. So when that really happened, we used to go to church, and I think these people observed that we could go every Sunday, just like any other family, we could go every Sunday. But remember, as I told you now, the elders could have been maybe 18, 19. So one day they go to church, and I happened to have not gone to church. And when they asked them, of course, there were some uh, missionaries, we can call them missionaries, some whites. And then they asked my sisters, because now there were five of them, there were four of them, and each time we could go to church, we were five. So this time around, we went to church, and I was missing. And then they asked, what happened to the young boy that you guys are always with? And then they tell them, they first hesitated. They didn't want to tell them, because our story was really weird. Yeah. So they tell them that, he's sick. But after hesitating for quite a time. So when they told them that I was sick, then they wanted to know they wanted to know the story. So because I just don't want to be a little lengthy, I'm skipping a little bit of parts here and there. Then they told them the story. And these guys got interested, and they're like, so now you guys don't have a guardian. Basically, you stay alone, and your kids. And they're like, yeah. So they wanted to find out. So they came to a house where we were staying, and they took us in. They started giving us basic needs of life. Of course, when they saw me, then they took me to the hospital. They catered for the bills. Then they were like, no, we are going to be helping you out. Of course, they brought in now someone elder. Yeah, called Susan Ogutu. Now she's married, and she stayed with us as a guardian. But now it was the church taking care of us, which was really very beautiful. So we went to school just like any other kid. All of them studied, yeah, all of them studied, and of course graduated, which is a beautiful thing, because now you imagine if you don't have both of your parents, and no one is supporting you, it becomes really a little bit hard. So we go to school. Remember, this is my story. We are sharing what I'm calling the good, the bad, and the ugly. So one day I was at school. We had come, I think, for holidays. I think I was now in secondary three. And then I overheard my sisters. Maybe I think we had gotten a visitor. And this visitor was asking if I really get sick, like being a sickler, like those kids who are always sick, yeah, not with sickle cell. So she asked, does he really get sick? Because they thought I had HIV. Remember, they were talking, but they were in the sitting room. I was in my bedroom, but now you could pass through the dining to reach the sitting room. So I came from my bedroom, came to the dining room, but now they are seated in the sitting room. They could not see me, but again they were discussing me, and they're like, "Doesn't he get sick?" Hey, you can imagine, because if both parents died of HIV, he's at least 100% really, he could have caught it. I'm overhearing them talk. I'm in my senior three. By then, I was going at Eagle's Nest. So when I overheard them say that, I didn't know. Of course, remember, I'm in senior three. I didn't know that by that time, you imagine from when they died, I didn't know that they had died of HIV, both of them. And now, because I was the last born, it means they gave birth to me when both of them were sick. So when I overheard them, I didn't ask questions, but I knew they were discussing me. And me, I'm not the person who gets sick. I don't get sick. Even my son doesn't get sick. My son has never gotten treatment, by the way. Treatment of any disease, typhoid, malaria, all those things, never. So now, when I overhear them, I go back to school. Remember, I was studying in Mengo, yeah? Mengo. So there was Mengo Kisenyi there, Eagle's Nest, yeah? Near the kingdom. Yeah, near the kingdom. So when I went there, of course, that's where they have the main headquarters of HIV. That place was called AIDS Information Center, which was doing research. So by that time, remember, I had never slept around. I had never had sex. In my senior three, I had never had sex. No intercourse, never. So I was very sure whatever results I get, because now I wanted to test, because for them, they didn't want to test. They didn't want to get disappointed to know that, their last born is having HIV. So they didn't test me the entire time. Now I'm in senior three. Senior three, you're grown up. So when I went to AIDS Information Center, which was this is the main research center in Uganda. So I went there, but before I went there, I first encouraged myself, and I'm like, if I find myself sick, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to spread the disease, but I will be very confident with myself, because I know anytime I'm going to die. And in case anything, if in case you come and you want to bully me, the attitude would be different, because I know at any time I will die. So basically, you mess with me, I mess with you, because me, I'm already dead. But it took me like a couple of months, yeah. It took me like 3 months to digest that in my head, to make myself comfortable that if I'm found with HIV, of course I didn't give it to myself, but I will increase my ego. Yeah. So I encouraged myself. So before even going in for the test, I had already cancelled myself, and I was going to be okay with it, because by that age I have not had any sexual intercourse. So now I go to AIDS Information Center in Mengo, and I tell these guys that I want to test. And they're like, why do you want to test? Now I'm at the counselor, they try to cancel you. And then they ask me, why is it that you want to test? And I told them, there's true story, because me, I'm not the person who lies, by the way. From childhood, me, I don't lie. I tell you whatever the way it is supposed to be. So I tell them the story, like, I overheard my sisters, and then they were discussing me, and I overheard them say mom and dad died of HIV, and of course 100% sure my mom gave birth to me when she was sick, because immediately when I was born, a couple of years, both of them died, with a difference time of only a month or two, and both of them died. So because I was, they were both sick, and there were no safe birth by then, so I'm very sure I could be sick. So I just wanted to come and confirm if I'm also sick. So the doctor, and he's like, what if we check you and you're HIV positive? We do the test and you're HIV positive. And I told them it will be okay with me, because I first cancelled myself before even I came here. But I just want to have that confirmatory test, because both of them died of the disease. So, and I overheard my sisters, and they asked me, do you get sick? I'm like, I never get sick. And then they ask me, have you ever had sex? And I tell them I've never had sex. And I'm in my senior three. I cannot forget, I was in my senior three, second term, senior three. So they're like, okay. So when I went through the counseling, then of course they did their tests. And with the AIDS Information Center, I think we used to pay 3,000 Ugandan shillings. So it was basically little money that anyone could afford. I think it was 3,000 or 1,000. So they did the test, then they called me back, Then the doctor, they take me back to the counselor, because it is the counselor who is supposed to give you the results. So he comes back, and then he's like, I've tested, and, you're negative. So now I confirm that I'm negative. But remember, when I overheard my sisters discuss me, I didn't tell them that I overheard them. So now after some time, I tell them, like, guys, I overheard you, But I did the test, and I'm negative, yeah, non-reactive. That's that's the language they use. I was non-reactive, but by then, of course, I could use the words negative or positive. So I told them I was negative. I don't have the disease. I don't have the virus. So now, that is the first ugly in my life. That was the first ugly. Remember, I told you this is my story, whereby I'm sharing, my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now imagine, my first ugly is the parents are not there, both of them. Second ugly, still again, they died of HIV, and maybe I could also be having the disease. That is another ugly. My sisters didn't want to test to confirm, because I wasn't getting sick, but they were having it in their mind. Third ugly. So now I remember that time I did not do, you can call it a term or semester. That time I did not do my exams, yet I was among the best students at that school, Eagles Nest. So now life keeps on, it goes on. Now I reach, remember, it is this church that is helping us. They did really a good job because they gave us what we would call the basic needs of life. They gave us shelter, they gave us medication, they clothed us, they fed us. They did a good job. Each time I talk about it not in a way that maybe I want to demoralize myself, but maybe I told God that I'll keep giving that testimony in a way of talking about it. That's why I'm not shy talking about it. So now I reach. It is the church taking care of us, and I have a dream of becoming a pilot. You can call it a pilot. I want to be a pilot when I grow up, and that is the only option I had because I I grew up in small circles. I never felt like going to university, like either Makere or Kiambo Gonkumba, those because people were so crowded. I never liked crowds. So now that is the only thing I wanted because I know at the flying school there will be few students. And that was one of my reasons why I didn't want to go to the university and I wanted to go to, you know, to the flying school. Sorry, the flying school. So now these people who are helping us, you can call them the missionaries, they're like, no worries, you will do that. And they had some of their kids who are pilots, and for them they used to call it pilots. Yeah, they were wise. They used to say, "Yeah, you want to be a pilot? Me, I know pilot." So because they were having kids who are pilots, it was going to become very easy. So I grew up the entire time knowing that I'll be a pilot. So now this is what happens, and I can never forget that. So now I've gotten done with senior six. I think in senior six, in my senior six, that's when these things of Osama bin Laden hitting the Twin Towers of America and then all that. And, those guys really wanted me to go do piloting. But for some reasons, the economy changed, just like how we got COVID. So when they hit America, things changed. They could not really help us in Uganda because I remember even up to now, that sorority flying school, to go there, I was going to do a PP, um, private pilot, PPL. Yeah, I was supposed to be doing PPL at sorority flying school. PPL goes for PPL is private pilot's license. So private pilot's license PPL. That's what I was supposed to do, and we were supposed to pay $18,000. $18,000. By then, I still remember that was like 36 millions, and 36 around 36 to 38 millions for a whole. Because for them they don't do semesters, they do hours. Pilots don't do semesters, they do hours. So we're supposed to do 360 hours. How do I know all these details? Because I went to the flying school, definitely. So now they are like, we cannot sponsor, America is hit, they are also there, the funds are not there. So now they are like, nothing to do. So I was supposed to end there, and I didn't have any other option in my life. This is my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm sharing all the facts. I'm sharing all the facts. As I told you, being born, I thought both parents died when I was like three, two. They died of HIV. My sister's thinking like I'm HIV. So now I want to do piloting, but of course tested and I came out to be negative. So now my dream to becoming a pilot, it is also tarnished because of the Osama bin Laden thing. It was really bad. So now I sit at home. Now they've stopped, sponsoring. It was really very bad. I remember I sat home for like a year. I think like for a year. Then one of my sisters were like, you know what? If they give you, if they admit you at Sorority Flying School, then I will sponsor you. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, I will sponsor you, because that was 18,000 USD. So I went to Sorority Flying School. I have one of my sisters who gave me transportation to go there. It was 50,000. I cannot forget. I went to Sorority Flying School. I stayed there. I did what they call, how do they call it? Those first, exams. Mm. And I passed because I had done Meg stroke entrepreneurship. I think that's what I did. And when I went, of course, I passed the interview. So now I stayed there. I saw the kind of lifestyle those kids were living at Sorority Flying School. And I think in the entire school, and it is as big as Entebbe Airport, just inside. Sorority Flying School is as big as Entebbe Airport, just inside, not the other parts outside. So, they had a swimming pool. The food they were eating, oh my goodness, it was what I call balanced diet food. They have a big plate, and then they can put like breakfast, then they give you like four slices of bread, then they give you some greens, then you choose whether you want black tea or you want milk. Then, oh, it was beautiful. The way how the kids were living. I was there like for a month, and then they told me, of course, that money was much. Remember, I had passed the interview, so, and they are friends of mine who fly right now, and I was with them at the flying school. So now, remember, I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I keep reminding you so that the people who come can know what we are talking about. So now I get the bad news, and they're like, you cannot do it. 18,000 USD wasn't there. So I go back home. When I went back home, again, I stayed there. I took a lot of pictures when I was at Short Flying School. I go back home. Again, I sit like for a year, minus doing nothing. I told you I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I told you the bad that starts with at 2. I lost both my parents of HIV. That is at 2. Immediately after losing them at 2, because they've died of HIV, my sisters think that maybe I also have HIV. I do the testing later in life, and of course, I notice I don't have it. So now I want to do piloting. For some reasons, again, it cannot work out. So again, I drop out. So when I drop out, one of my sisters had gotten married, and she had gotten married to a rich, okay, a rich person. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, a rich, because they are more privileged. So she was like, you know what, I can help you out, but this time around, it is me going to choose for you what you're going to do. And I think if you do medical laboratory, it will be a very beautiful thing. And I'm like, cool. So now I go and I do medical laboratory, and then she's sponsoring me, which was really very beautiful. But at a point, again, remember, I'm telling you my story. I see when people come. Remember, I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah. So forgive for the people who are on. Forgive me each time I keep repeating some of the things, because I can see when no people have come through. So I want to also tell them, where we started. So now, um, I'm at. She tells us, she's the one supposed to choose. Remember, a beggar has no choice. So now, because I'm home and I'm not studying, she's like, you can go and study medical laboratory. So I went and I did medical laboratory because she was privileged. That is one of my sisters. Of course, we grew up with. So now, when I'm at medical laboratory, time reaches when she gets a little bit sick. She was having blood pressure. Until now, she has blood pressure. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's low. I started, I think, I was supposed to do the last semester and then graduate. But now she got sick, and, she could get pressure. So I noticed, maybe I was stressing her because she was supposed to look for funds. So I'm like, you know what? Let me drop out. So I dropped out. Still again, last semester, I drop out. When I drop out, again, no. Before dropping out, we were watching TV with one of my cousins, yeah? And then we were in hostels, but we had changed school to a cheaper school. So when we were there, that was in Kasangati, by the way. So when we were there, in our small room, me and my cousin, a female cousin, and we watched a program on TV where people were competing to become TV hosts. Remember, I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. My story. The ugly ones, of course, you've seen the ugly ones. The ugly ones, I think, now are like six. Parents dead, both of them, because of HIV. Yeah. And they give birth to me when both of them are HIV. Still again, they all die. And I think I also have it. I go, I do my first course again, drop out. I do the second one again, drop out. But now, before dropping out in the second one, which was medical laboratory, we were having a small TV in our household. So when I was with that cousin I told you about, then she's like, "I think you can win these people," and I'm like, "I think I can win them." And guess what happens? She's like, we can. She's like, "Okay, first do dry runs, yeah." Show me that you can win them. Guys, for those who have just joined, I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Both my parents died of HIV. Of course, they gave birth to me when both of them are having HIV in the 80s. One died like today, the other one like after 2 months. And I thought I was having HIV. I did the test, and of course, I passed them. I was negative. I do school, and I'm now dropping out. And to enjoy this story, it is well every morning. Yeah, every morning we come and do a live stream. So I don't want to be going back and forth. If you find us in the middle, you'll not understand it. So that's why I keep doing that each time I see you come through. So now she's like, no, because we watched the program. I think it was called, not I think, it was called The Icon. And they were looking for the best person, to do TV hosting. And they had gone to different universities. They had gone to Kiambogo, Nkumba, YMCA, Makere. They had gone to all those universities. So then they gave gap for the people in institutions. Now remember, me, I was in a medical institution. So they didn't come in medical institutions. So me, I came from the rest of Uganda. So they had gotten the best TV host, they think, because they were like doing dry runs, and then you're doing it like you work like you're on TV. So now me, I came from the rest of Ugandans. But now this cousin of mine is the one who first tells me, do you think you can win? And I'm like, I can beat those guys. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, I can beat those guys. So she's like, okay. So she gave me programs like for the people, let me say, who like National Geographical channel. And then he's like, okay, imagine you're doing National Geographical. Then I did it. Then she tells me, imagine you're doing a musical channel. I do it. Then she's like, imagine. So whatever she could tell me, I could do. And remember, by then, we were not having phones to make us busy. We were sharing a screen. So we had been watching these guys, do all this when they were in different universities. So now she's like, okay, according to what I've seen, I think you can win these guys. Yeah? Guys, this is what we are talking about. My story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sharing the true story. For the guys, if you didn't start with us, it will be very bad. You should go back and then watch, because I've shared the uglies. At 2, losing both my parents of HIV, and guess what happens? Of course, I am given birth to, of course, when both of them have HIV. And now I'm dropping out of schools. So now I'm like, okay. She's like, you can win them, but now we don't have transport. So how are you going to reach the National Theatre? I'm like, I also don't know. But remember, I had one of my friends called Shadow. We promised each other a lot of things, and I tried to do my best. So she was an artist, and of course, once in a while, she could do backup. She was a backup artist, so once in a while, she could get some money. But again, she was still doing school also. So now she's like, I'll fund the transportation, so she could give me like 5,000, 10,000. So I went to the National Theatre the first time, and when I reached there, Truth is, I beat those guys hands down the first time. And all the judges, because they had like 4 judges, I remember some of them, and they all became my friends later in life. We had Drake Sekeba, for the people who know Drake Sekeba. We had Barbara Yata, oh my goodness, super talented woman. We had Onet Patrick, now right now working for international media. And when I did my first dry run, all of them were like, "You've won." Even the kids, we were like 100 plus. They all noticed that I beat them hands down. But how did that happen? Of course, from growing up, I used to do a lot of debate. For the people who started this story, you will love it. You will love this story, and you will see the ups and downs that I've gotten in life. That at the age of being born, I was supposed to be dead. Truthfully speaking, I would not have made even 3 years. I was supposed to be dead. And then I'm growing up in life, and life is so challenging. But again, God helps you here. You win here. You lose here. Again, you win here. Again, you're not sure of this. Again, you win here. You get it is. That's why I decided to call it my story: the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now, why is it that it became easier for me to win? Yet I was in a medical school, and these kids are doing journalism and they're doing all these courses in these universities. And me, I came from a medical school and I could beat them hands down. How did it happen? Because of the background. When I was growing up, um, I think in primary 3, yeah, in primary, yeah, I remember. No, I don't think it is exact. In primary 3, remember, these guys had not really adopted us, but we could stay with them. They were whites, yeah, the missionaries. So I stayed with them for a while with my other sister. So what these people do and what we don't do in Africa, or what we try to do, is like they try to give you that confidence. You have to be confident. So now, because I was young, and they are white, so you have to communicate in English. So I had to adopt. So when I went in primary 3, because I had been staying with them like for a year, when I'm in P2, so P3, I could communicate very well and I was confident. So the school where I was, Highway Primary School, they always have a head prefect, then they have a head boy and head girl. So the head prefect is like the boss. But that boss is supposed to be either in primary 7 or primary 6, because you're elder and you're eloquent, you can communicate and you're confident. But now me, I'm in primary 3, but because I've been with these people, and this is the topic, by the way, we are going to talk about at night. The people you surround yourself. Yeah, that's what you become. The people you surround yourself is what you become. We are going to talk about that at night. Yeah, at exactly 8, no, at exactly 9 at night. That is the topic we're going to be talking about. So because I had been staying with these people for a while, so I had the confidence, and then I also had I could communicate in English because we were not using Lugan. So now, Highway, when they were looking for a head prefect is the boss, is like the president. Then there's a head girl and the head boy. So now what happens to me? The keys, okay, it was the teachers, to be specific. There was one teacher who really loved me so much. So because I was the boy they sent to the office to pick the chalk, I was the boy they tell when we have to talk to the kids. So now the teachers are like, Anderson, you should try out this. But of course, I picked up the name Anderson later in life. I was called Isaac, but I was called Isaac. Isaac is my name, by the way. So now I'm telling you, I've taken you a little bit back. Why is it became easier for me to get on TV, given the fact that I was in a medical school? Now I channeled there. So now I'm telling you how I just got to win those guys easily, because I knew I would. So in primary 3, I'm taking you where it all starts. So now, in primary 3, my teacher tells me, you know what? You should also compete for the post of the head prefect. Head prefect is the boss, is the president. So now I'm like, cool, no problem. So we have to give speeches, we have to campaign. But of course, I'm in P3, so campaigning, I don't understand. But of course, when they do their assemblies, all of you have to come on the assembly and communicate and talk. Now, I came there, I slashed them. Because now there was a head prefect who was supposed to come in from primary 7 or primary 6. Now me, I'm in primary 3, young boy. I went on the assembly and I communicated. In primary 3, I was the head prefect at the school with primary 4, primary 5, primary 6, and primary 7. And I was in primary 3. I was the head prefect, not the head boy, not the head girl, but the head prefect. That was bad, man. But where did that come from? From the competency of these guys we were staying with. So when I do that, so I started doing debating. I think from primary 1, I was doing debating. Water is better than fire, mother is better than father, those things. So I could do them perfectly. So now, because of where it starts from home, that is very important, very, very important. So now, when now that helped me, because now I'm in a medical school, but debating was in my blood, that I did that in senior 1, and I could again do the same, beat hands down with kids in senior 6, senior 5, senior 4, and I'm in senior 1. I did that till senior 6. So I could communicate. But remember, where did it start from? At the age of maybe 11, 12. That's where I picked that. That's why I'm also even here, by the way. Because that's where I got the confidence, and then I have to communicate, and I don't care what people think about me. That's where I get it. So now that's how I end up on TV. Again, I came out at the best, by the way. I came out at the best TV host in Uganda with a lot of investment that the TV did, Wava Muno, and they went to all these universities, all of them, and I won. And I was from a medical school. But again, as medical school is going on, now I've gotten a job. But now time reaches when my sister, who is funding the medical school, is having, high and low blood pressure and all that. So now she cannot fund. So I'm like, cool. Let me start up live. I started off live. So because I already have, I do school, but again, I'm working on TV. I do school, but at night I go and work on TV. So I'm like, cool. So I start my life now alone, because now all my sisters are married. So I go, I had a suitcase and my small mattress. Then I go to Ntinda, Bukoto, and because they just sent me away from the medical school, because now I could not go back home because all my sisters were married, and again I could not still go back home because where I was in Mengo was a little bit near to Ntinda Bukoto, and of course in Endaje, where I used to stay, was a little bit far, so that was near for transportation. So I go there. So I stay at school, but of course now these guys tell me, because there were holidays and everyone is supposed to be at their homes, but me, I decided to stay at school. So the Askari one day came and is like, you know what, man, you stayed here for long, you're supposed to leave. So with my first salary that they gave me, then I went to Ntinda, Bukoto, with my luggage, small mattress, and my suitcase, and I was starting life, man. I was starting life. This is my story, brother. I told you I'm going to be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I got my first house, I think was like 70,000, the one I got. So I get that house. For the people who are joining, I'm sharing my story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. how I grew up and what happened to me, and it is a little bit diminishing, like it puts you down, but I'm okay with it because first of all, for the people who are following from when we started, my parents died of HIV, both of them, yeah, and my sisters thought maybe I was having it. Thank God I didn't have it. So I'm not going now to keep going back and forth because if you come and then you leave, come and leave. No, no, no. So for the people who watch it when it is done, that will be very beautiful. So now I start working on TV because now my sister cannot support. Now I've rented my first place. It is the first time I'm staying alone. I cannot remember one moment, because I was used to staying with my sister and all of them are married. And I've always thought, even when I was growing up, that since I'm the last born and I'm having 5 sisters who are elder, if I need money, maybe I can get from one sister, then another sister, then another sister. Then I felt like being a last born, I would nail it. But it did not work out that way. Why? When people get married, I'm telling you, the family you create is more important than the family you come from. Yeah. So when I started working, mm, I felt like I was missing my sisters. So one day, I called them and I'm like, "Hello, what's up?" I changed the voice. "Hello, what's up? How you doing?" Then I called all of them and I tell them, "Your brother got an accident, was on Ginger Road, and he's not doing okay. He's admitted in Malago Hospital in intensive care." My sisters were crazy. They thought I was really, because I thought that they were not communicating. They were not communicating, and I felt bad that why is it that you guys are not communicating? At least check me up, see how I'm doing, man. But you know, because they had started their families, now reality is starting to hit in. I worked on TV, met a couple of people. Bebe Cool was among the first people I met. I did a lot of skipping because I don't want to take you all through the details. Because when I was at Eagle's Nest, I meet Mickey Wine. I meet, people now who ran entertainment, producers, the Bushingtons, the Miss Ugandas, the Big Brother, whatever. When I was in that school, Eagle's Nest, I met a lot of people, but I just skipped that because I want to keep it on me. But how I also, I'm skipping a lot of things. But now I start TV. I tell my sister like I got an accident, which I was lying, but it really treated them bad, and they told me never to do it again because they were not checking on me. So now I start TV. Guess what happens? That is WBS TV. In just I think in less than a year, I was topping Uganda, man. I was doing what I was doing, and it was really crazy because they did a morning show. I think it was called Morning Flavor. So in Morning Flavor, it was a morning show whereby, in case you wake up early in the morning, they are going to start by giving you the news briefs. What you missed yesterday, they will give you the news briefs. Those are professional guys who put on suits, and then girls who are serious. Then they give you news briefs. What happened, the other day before you go to work. They tell you through what happened in news the other day. Then they could come to sports. They tell you what is really going on and what really happened. So they had news, then they have sports, then they had to do entertainment. And entertainment, of course, because they thought it's not that important, so they gave us like how many minutes? I think they started by giving me 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes on air. So me, because I grew up not listening to music, I'm not a fan of music. Even up to now, I'm not really a big fan of music. Yeah. So the guys were like, they are giving me 10 minutes, and they wanted me to do local content, and they wanted me to do international, because you can read, you can go on Google, and then you see the Kim Kardashians, then the Jay-Z's, then the Beyonce's, and I wasn't really a fan. Remember, I come from a born again Christian family, so I could not easily relate with those things. But I was like, with the locals, I think I can. Oh my goodness. I was like, because I noticed I wasn't that good. I don't know what is going on. So what I did was to be with those people, to be with them. Then I bring the information. Oh my goodness. We did it, and I was like, I wasn't getting enough of the information. So I was like, what if I just bring these people on air? So I started bringing artists on air in the morning. And an artist was supposed to be on air as early as 6 in the morning. They thought it would not happen. Like entertainers, whether they are movies, you do movies, whether whatever you do, as long as it's entertainment. I started bringing those people. That's how even Uganda, the entire Uganda doctored it to bring the important people in the country in the morning. It was not there. That was me. That I can confirm. It was me who introduced that in Uganda. So now you see there are ups, there are lows, there are struggles. There is a bad, the ugly, the good. So it was really a hurdle. And by the way, the main reason why I decided to come and picked up that topic today is because, again, I'm at my lowest now. Again, I'm at my lowest. So I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what is going to happen. But today, I'm at my lowest. So that's why I'm like, no, let's go through it. From birth, it has been like this. And that's how basically life moves. Like, there are ups and downs. So, of course, I start bringing artists. It works out really nice, And I'm topping when it comes to TV early in the morning. So now, again, we continue. This time, I lose my job, by the way, because WBS reaches a time and then they close. And when they close, I think that was, again, one of my hardest moments in life. Oh, my goodness. It was really bad. It was really, really bad. When they closed, I went, because now I could not afford to pay rent. I could not afford food. I could not afford anything in life. So what happened? One of my sisters, still again, the one who sponsored me to be in a medical school, she's like, you can go in one of my houses. Of course, it's not occupied. You can go and use it. So I went there. I used it. I was with one of my friends. I was there. Sometimes we don't get meals. We stay you can stay for 2 days minus eating. Then because Uganda is endowed, we could go and, you go in the bushes and then get greens. You go in the bushes. You cannot fail. In Uganda, you cannot fail to get what you can fail to get what to eat. But if you can take, now our junk is what we pick in the bushes. So we could eat what we could find in the bushes. Truth. But now I started to realize life is not easy, man. Life is not easy. I realized a lot of things again because now we are off air. By the way, for the people who are joining, again, because you come and go because this is a live stream. We've been here for 58 minutes. You can imagine. So I'm sharing my story. I'm sharing my story. Let me put okay. So I'm not going to put it there. So for the people who will watch it later, they will know what we were talking about. So now, it was really hard for me. And because I started off work with the professional TV station, I felt like I didn't want to work with people who are gambling. I didn't want to work with people who are gambling. So what I did was I went to Rwanda. That is the only country I've been to. It is the only country I've gone to. I go to Rwanda because I felt like maybe they are more professional than the other TV stations in Uganda. So I went there, to get a job. Of course, Rwanda TV gave me, I was supposed to work with Rwanda TV. They are national TV. But when I was there, again, Record TV calls me in Uganda. Of course, Douglas Ranga had moved on to NTV. So I was like, let me join. So when they called me, I was like, I'd rather work in Uganda than working in a foreign country. So I came back to Uganda, but I was going to work for Rwanda TV, their national TV. So I came back to Uganda, and I started working on Record TV. We changed the name, we changed everything. Again, it's also closed. We were doing good. Again, I'm off. Before I know it, I'm on Taji, which was formerly Record TV. Again, it also closes. Before it closed now, how do I end up having a kid? How do I end up having Tyler? If someone asks me what is the best choice I've ever done in life, or what is the biggest asset I have in life, to me, not my asset, by the way. But the best thing that I have in life is my son. How do I end up with this kid? I've skipped a lot of things, but for the people who started this story and you've been, following, you would love it. You would really, really love it. In between, by the way, when I'm on all these media groups, I am enjoying life to the fullest. I'm enjoying life to the fullest. I party, we sleep around. But of course, because I had that in my background that my parents died of HIV, I was a little bit precautionist because I made sure I don't die of HIV. That was a no-go zone. Yeah. So either use condoms, either taste them. In between going to do laboratory, again, they teach us about the test kits and all that. Like I got a lot of knowledge when it comes to HIV. And why is it that I came out and I was safe? I studied HIV, guys. One day, I'm going to come here and we are going to just be talking about HIV. I understood that disease. Now, for some reasons, I understand why when someone is involved in an accident, or when they lose their parents, or when they lose their kids through an accident, then they come up and then they're advocating, for safe driving because they have that. So me, I fell in love. Truthfully, I fell in love with HIV. I know HIV in and out. I know HIV. Unless there is a new HIV that comes through, I understand HIV because that's what my parents died of and gave birth to me when they were having HIV. Can you imagine having a dad HIV positive, having a mom HIV positive, and they give birth to you and you don't have it? Yeah? Of course, I told you I'm sharing my story. The beautiful, the ugly, and the bad. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what I'm sharing. So I got a lot of information. So in that period when now I'm on media, I enjoyed life. Truthfully, I was really crazy. I was really, really, really crazy. I have a body count of like how many? Sometimes I say like 500 girls. You can't imagine. Really terrible. But I don't regret nothing. This is my story. So now, the reason why I didn't catch HIV because I had interest in it. Had interest. I love HIV, by the way. I love HIV. Like, I love it. I love it. I want to know more most of the time. So now, first in front. Now, even now at Taj TV, which was formerly Recall TV, also sold. Now I want to get a kid in my life. Like I want to be in a relationship. Remember, the entire story when I was talking to you guys, I've never been in a setting of a mom and dad. When it happened, again, it was those missionaries. So that setting. So I grew up wanting to be a family man. Truthfully speaking, I wanted to be a family man. Like I feel like if I feel like I want to be in a setting where I'm a dad, there is a mom, and then there are kids. Because I did not get that privilege, man. I did not get that privilege whereby we are having a mom and a dad. I didn't grow up in that. So now I feel like I love it. I like it. I like it a lot. So I've enjoyed my life to the fullest. So now I reached the time and I'm like, I feel like I want to get a kid and I want to do a family, but I'm not yet stable. But I can see the future. Like I can work out things. There is this girl now. Oh my goodness. Should I skip her? I think I should skip her because she's the mother of my kid. And when I got her, I've skipped a lot. But now I get her. I'm going to skip a lot for the maybe later I'll talk about those things. But I felt like, it is going to work. I tried my level best for it to work. It did not work. As I told you, we are sharing, how are we calling it? My story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Still again, now we got the ugly. But of course, we had some good and the bad. But now this is the ugly. It did not work out. Yeah, just like how with everyone, sometimes it doesn't work out. Yes, true. It is the truth. So it didn't work out. And I felt bad. But now, how do I end up to being a single dad? This is how I end up being a single dad. So because I did not grow up with parents, and that is the only thing that I feel like I want to be with a mother, father, and then the kids. So I feel like if I failed at it, if we failed at it, maybe. By the way, you guys can comment. You guys can comment. I see people liking. You can comment. And by the way, when I'm done, then you will ask questions. And I want you guys to ask a lot of questions. Yeah. Rose Media. Wagon. Am I very late? Good morning, everyone. Rose Media. UG. Rose Media, how you doing? Most of the people think you cannot comment. There are times when you cannot comment, but right now you can really comment and be in the comment section, and then you will answer questions. Rose Media, you've come in a little bit late. I'm almost ending to going to questions. We've been here for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Oh my goodness. That is really long. Yeah, so now this is what happens. Yeah, I thought, because to me, I felt the only thing I loved, like when you grow up, fine, I wanted to be a pilot. You can call it being a pilot. But now me, what I wanted was to have a family, because I had never been in a family setting. So that's what I felt like I really wanted. I'm doing great there, Emilimu Jituba. Rose Media UG. Agami Emilimu Jiba over. Yeah. Nafe, things are not easy. Nafe jitububa. I've been saying my story, sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly. So even when I was growing up, my sisters used to tell me, like, Anderson, if you ever get involved in sexual intercourse and then you make a kid, you have to take care of the woman and the kid. So they kept putting that in me, that I understood it, because I was the only boy in the family. I was the only boy in the family and the last born. So I made sure I don't have sexual intercourse up to my senior sex. And I know I was supposed to take responsibility. So me, the only thing I wanted in life was to be with the only thing. Have you ever been there and you want something? Now me, I had never been in a family setting. I've never been in a place where there is a mother and a father and kids. So now me, what I wanted in my life was to have a mother, a father, and kids. If I didn't have them, for the people who have been following this story, because I don't want to go back and forth, I wanted to have a family. I tried my level best, and things just failed. They didn't work out. But now, because I wanted a family setting, I was like, okay, if things have failed, at least let me be with my son. Let me be with my son. So that's how I ended up as a single dad. Yeah, things failed just like how they failed. The story one day maybe I'll share it to you. So that's how I ended up being with my son. Since he was one, now he's four. Soon we'll be making five. Yeah, and I've been in his life the entire time. I'm very proud of that. So now there's this last part. The entire time, hmm, it is just gambling, making money and how much they are paying you and how I end up on social media. Again, we're going to be skipping that. So when I go Tyler, I felt like I have to clear my life. Like now I have to be stable. What I did, my sister helped me so much, but I skipped that part. That part is so special that one day when I share it, you guys will have opinions. But I will tell you when I'll share it. I'll share that story when I get monetized. Because this is what happened, yeah? I ended up on YouTube. For the people who've been following, you will know how we joined here. Because now this is our family. For the people who are on this channel, you could already have watched all the videos. So I'm not going to go back and forth. No. Be an ardent, follower. Like be there, be following. So I will not talk about the same things I talked yesterday or the other day or last month. You're supposed to be there. When a video comes, watch, subscribe, hit the notification button, follow. It's very important because we talk about different things. So my sister helped me because I knew the year 2026 wouldn't be a beautiful year for me. She helped me. She was like, "You're supposed to get land. You're supposed to get a place called home." I remember she was the one forcing me to come even do survey. Then we came. I saw the place. I loved the place. We bought the place. It was still a hassle. We fenced it. We did at the studio where I'm seated right now. I love my sister Winnie. Pleasant places. I love you, sister man. Thank you very much. Because right now, do you know what, guys, is happening? Now, right now, I had sorted myself to fit for a year. So right now, what is happening is that we got out of food, got out of everything because I decided to start afresh. That's why we use English here because I want to get to a new community. But everything has its start. Everything is done. Now, food is done, sauce is done, everything is done right now. The year hasn't yet ended. And we have to get food. I have to stock again. I told myself I'll be working online and doing YouTube, but I did it intentionally because now I wanted to be in front of you. Like you guys can easily relate with me. I've again skipped a lot of things in between there, which we'll be talking about sometime to come when it is really right. So now, the beautiful thing is, at least I'm not looking for rent. The beautiful thing is, still again, I'm not paying bills, but now I'm like, food is out. Security bills. Those security bills, those are the we have cars that move around. Security. Again, we have which other bills? Then we have internet. Then we have I and by this time I knew this would happen. And what I have skipped in between there, this time was already sorted. This time was already sorted. But the person who was supposed to sort it was ardent. Yeah, let me just use that word. Was ardent. So didn't really take it serious. But that time was supposed to be there. So my friend is calling me. Yo, Wagon. Okimanyi ndi ku live saawa eno. Abu. Ndi live ku YouTube naye oba njimale kati oba njimalirize simanyi gwe abaŋŋamba. Mbadde ntuuse ku nkomerero. Naye nga ne mugamba bakyali bange nti mbabulidde sitole yange okuva wenzaalibwa. Sitole babadde bagiyita tukyali live by the way. Kanguteeke anyway, kanjogere bwogezina. Kati story babadde bagiyita kansooke njibatereka abali ku screen. Story bagiyita My Story, the good, the bad and the ugly. So njibanyumizza saawa zino story eyo wenjibanyumizza omanyi kati gwanjogeza Oluganda eno ya Luzungu. Already ndi mu ssaawa emu n'eddakiika 15. Kati mbadde njagala bamaliriza ngambagamba mbanyumizza emboozi yange era nga bweri era nga bw'ogimanyi. Ndi mu gibanyumiza story kikakyakali obadde olina story oba yagala tunyumyemu bunyumya. Wanjulako essimu yo naawe breakinga wallahi. Oyagala kumbuzako ebyo bisitory. Kati nze mpa eddakiika 5 nze agenda okukubira. Ngenda kukubira mu ddakiika 5. That is my friend. Of course, calling in from London. Oyali London. Naye, boy, let me see. So at the end of the day, I made choices. And I take responsibility for my choices and everything that I decided to do or I do in life. I just thought maybe by this time everything will be good. There is nothing good. Yeah, I demonetized all my YouTube channels to be original so that I could be talking to you guys. But when I demonetized, still again, a lot of things happen. So, not having it is luck. Of course, we did our hours, so if we get monetized, we will be good. Right now, not having an income and feeling like I want to spend a lot of time with my kid that I don't want to show up at any job, and I'm basically doing what I can do the best is this. So again, I'm having some downs. Yeah, I'm having some downs. I'm still working on them. Yeah. So I hope everything goes really nice. I've skipped a lot of things, but it is intentional because I'm here. I'm going to be here for the next 10 years. I'm here. So even the things that we skip, at one moment we'll talk about. But right now, again, I'm having my lowest. Because by this time, I'm under review. Yeah, I'm under review. Let me show you, by the way. Let me show you. I'm under review for this same channel, which is BCM. Why should I show you? No, I'm not going to show you. No, I'm not going to show you. I was going to show you, but I'm not going to show you. So I'm under review. So if we come back, it is basically going to be me here. Instead of being with other people and then we support the rest of them and we don't support us, I felt like that is not good. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So we are under review, no income. All my hopes are here. I'm not going to add on a lot. Yeah, I'm not going to be adding on a lot because I'll get a little bit emotional. So I wanted to say, no, let me do for you something. Let me do for you something. Okay.
Spending the night in Dixon, 60-odd miles from a plan. Is it too late to learn to listen? Too late to be less a man? How many yesterdays are between us now? How many yesterdays are between us now? Carried